Hello everybody, welcome to the new video. This is Max from server 133. So this video I'll be talking about why do people quit Evony. Let's have a simple talk about the game. Evony is a game which is filled with lots and lots of drama, a lot of excitement, lot of challenges, lot of great stuff, especially the server politics uh, and a lot of interesting stuff that happens in the game. Moreover, the best part of the game Evony is it's a war game and you are allowed to attack players. You're allowed to attack players on the tiles, on the relics, and anywhere and everywhere. But here is one thing that I love about the game is that the leadership of all the alliance come together and form server rules, which involves them to do things for their alliance, which helps their alliance to grow. Now, when I say about do things for their alliance, which helps their alliance to grow or which help the server to grow, is basically enforcing the server rules like having a nap on one day in the entire week that allows players to trade resources for subordinate cities and stamina, having activities that allow each other to grow, or keeping tile hits to be a complete no forever, keeping relic hits to be no forever. Such rules help the entire server to grow, everybody to grow, and enforcing such rules needs lots and lots of patience and uh, dedication. Sorry, I just went out of words while speaking, so I had to think. Now, one of the reasons that people quit the game is whenever they drop bubble, whenever they unbubble, they get hit, they lose their troops, they lose their resources, they lose their subordinate cities. I would get a mini heart attack if I wake up in the morning and if I see my subsidy is lost. I would get really heartbroken if all this resources get stolen. Actually, not heartbroken if this resource gets stolen because I have way much more hidden in the boxes. So just don't tell anybody. Anyways, so that's some of the reasons why I would be heartbroken. But then the other reason that people once if they quit, or sorry, once they get hit, they don't come back to the game is because of the poor research. So if you happen to do a good research in the defense category, which is about healing speed, healing cost, and hospital capacity, your recovery will be much smooth, much easy, much fast. The other reason that people quit the game is they get bullied. They basically happen to unbubble and uh, get hit repeatedly from the bigger alliances, bigger players. You can't do anything about that. You should focus on your bubble discipline. Learn to bubble up few hours in advance. Don't set an alarm of your bubble. See, this game allows you to bubble up in advance. It's not that you have to wait for your bubble to drop to apply a fresh bubble. This game lets you put a fresh bubble at any point of time. What can you do with that? For example, I know my bubble is going to drop on a Thursday afternoon at 12:30. So I'm not going to wait for the Thursday afternoon 12:30 to come up. Whenever I wake up on a Thursday morning, let's say I wake up at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., the first thing that I should do when I start the game should be applying a fresh bubble. Not waiting for the 12:30 mark to reach when the bubble is about to drop, last 10 seconds left, and then I renew. That is basically taking a risk. What if you lose the internet connection in the last 10 seconds? What if you're unable to get onto the game? What if you get a call which takes away your full attention? What if there is a house emergency? What if there's something happening? So don't do that, because in such cases you will basically not be able to bubble up your account and you will be taking a hit and losing a lot of things. Another reason that people leave the game is because of the alliance that they play in. Now I'll give you an example. I'm talking about the alliance IND, and the alliance leader Fabia is the R5. She's playing this game for more than a year. Like, she started with the same time I started. She is on a K30 right now, and she has got some good number of players in her alliance. However, the majority of the people in the alliance are basically alts of players from other alliances. So these guys have plant, they are alts in her alliance, and these alts are basically growing on them, developing on them. And whenever the mains of this alliance drop their bubble, Because they have an alt and a farm in the alliance, the other players, they find out the bubble drop and they quickly come and hit them, basically spying in the alliance, which is totally wrong. I will tell you a story about that, and this is going to be a bit long. So there was this one guy I was chatting with who was an alt of a big player, and nobody knew about that. This guy had an alt in my alliance, spying everybody. So I was chatting with him. He said that I'm from an old server, I have some game knowledge, I'll share that with you so that you can set up a defense and everything. So while discussing, I set up a ground defense. And I had set up a ground general, ground defense, ground troops, research, maxed out traps. Everything was perfect, awesome, set, ready. Now all of a sudden, I had a conversation with this guy and I said, yes, my ground is fully ready. And he's like, good. So why don't you drop your bubble and see if somebody attacks you and what is the result? The moment I dropped my bubble, within few seconds, not even 10 seconds, some player jumped on me. Basically, this guy jumped from his main on me and attacked me from mounted march, pure mounted march. No layers, nothing, just an entire mounted march, and I got zeroed. And this guy asked me for the report. I shared him the report. This guy didn't ask me for the report, and he messaged without me sharing the report on the alliance chat or anywhere. He messaged, you lost a lot of resources. I had to go back in my chat history and check if I had any of my screenshots that was showing my open resources, and there was no screenshot that was showing my open resources. Somehow he knew about it. Well, I wasn't aware. I thought that, well, he got the report from somewhere, or maybe I shared the report, or maybe somehow he knows it and I wasn't sure. So this is what I did. I said, okay, he knows that I have a ground defense, so what, I'll do it again and let's see what happens this time. He said, don't you want to change it to range? I'm like, no, I'll keep it ground only. Ground is good for defense, and we can easily handle the incoming attack from the enemy. Now the reality was, I had changed my defense to range. I told him that I'm going to be on the ground, but he understood, so he didn't understand that I was bluffing. He got his main onto me when I dropped the bubble during a kill event, and he sent a full mounted march at me. My range defense destroyed his mounted attack completely. Like, that guy, he cried. He literally cried. His entire march got killed. And this is where I had a very strong feeling that this guy is basically either a spy who is sharing the information with them, or an alt of the main player. Now moving further about this alliance and the scenario that I had with this guys is that they're inactive. They hardly rally bosses for the team. Now, if you are in such an alliance which is not active, your growth will already be slow. And when you drop bubble, somebody will come and plunder your keep. And none of your alliance guys will be able to give a counter attack. Sorry, none of their alliance guys, your alliance guys, will be able to give a counter attack to the enemy to shoo them off. So such players will never be at any benefit or resource to you in the game. So if you are in such an alliance, leave it right now, go to a bigger alliance. I was also once doing a Zoom session with a player who was showing me his account, who was showing me the general, and it was very underdeveloped, very lack of working. The in-city tiles were less than level 10, his keep level was 27, his troops were of T11, but his hospital size was small, his research and everything was small. I asked him, why don't you move to a top ranking alliance? On finding out his alliance rank was 7th or 8th, and I asked him, why don't you move to a top ranking alliance? He tell me, what is the benefit of moving in a top ranking alliance? Without thinking, I quickly asked him that, are you the R4 of your alliance? And he said yes. That's when I realized that he is just in the game because he's the R4 of his alliance, because he's the leader of his alliance. which is also very wrong. If you are somebody who does not have the knowledge of the game, you don't have the experience, you don't have the understanding, then don't be a leader of an alliance, because you are basically a sheep leading an army of lions. Don't do that. It is better to have a herd of sheep led by a lion than to be in an army of lions her led by a sheep. Don't be the sheep that is leading the army. Be the sheep of the herd that is following a lion. Your gameplay will improve faster, your development will be better. Overall, it will be a better and a best thing for you. So don't be with such guys, or don't be in such an alliance that has no scope of growth, no hope of development, and nothing positive for you to take from. And especially don't really rot in an alliance that is just filled with leaders who want to be the leaders. The other reason that people quit the game is arrogance. You will find a lot of people who talk down to you, who talk arrogantly to you, who disrespect you, who just want to trash with you. Use the feature of blacklist and blacklist them. You don't want such trash talking people. You don't want mails, whisper, world chat speakers, messages from such trash talking people at any point of time. Let it be, even if they're trying to help you, block them. This guy Eggy, I'll tell you his story. So we had one of my friends, one of my very close friends, throne rotation, got the kingship, and I asked her for the craftsman title. Now when I asked her for the craftsman title, even he had asked for the craftsman title. However, she decided to give it to me because she's a friend of mine, and she didn't give him the title because she already had got a list of few members that were going to be the craftsmen for her kingship period, during her ruling period. So this guy came to the world chat and started trashing me that Max, you're selfish, you want to only look at yourself, you're not benefiting the server, blah 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 blah. I simply told him very nicely, dear friend, you are blocked. Do not take negative energies of such arrogant, disrespectful people. He wanted craftsmen for his personal growth. I wanted craftsmen for my personal growth. I reached out to her. She decided to give me. I got it. She didn't give him. He felt jealous. Even after having a 1.7 billion K35 keep, which has a Wonder 3, and he has already developed a lot in his account, I wasn't. I took the craftsmanship, which he didn't like it. So he started arrogantly talking to me. If there are people who arrogantly talk to you, nicely let them know, dear friend, I don't like you, and I'm going to block you. Address them as dear friend. Don't abuse them. Don't abuse anybody. Even if they are disrespecting you, insulting you, doing anything to you, do not abuse. You abuse them, you are basically fueling their fire. Address them as dear friend. Kill them with sweetness. Kill them with sugar. Diabetes kills even more badly than an accident does. Yeah. You can get COVID instantly and die within few days, but diabetes is going to take lots and lots of years of trouble and kill you. So kill them with diabetes, kill them with sugar, with sweetness. Another reason that people leave the game is because of the jealous R4s. This is the most serious thing. If you are in an alliance and you see the R4 is jealous of you, you will not be able to notice, but you will take time to notice it. When you are trying for the Ares wings and you get the wings and the R4 starts doing drama, things are happening and the R4 does trash with you, or they will not respond to you when you are asking for help. They'll not send you stamina when you ask for stamina. It is not anybody's responsibility to help you with stamina, but then if you're in an alliance and somebody is requesting for stamina, and if somebody has it, they can give it. But I have seen some people who have got hundreds of bottles of 100 stamina, but they don't really use it. They just keep begging, which is not a good thing to do. Coming back to the jealous R4, so one of my past histories, this is with the R4 of the Alliance KOD. Now KOD and Bomb has merged, and the Alliance KOD is an alt alliance and a farm alliance, or all the inactive players are still stuck to that alliance. So this is about the leader Siska, this lady, and I'm not even really scared about talking about her, because here's the beauty part. Being in the same server, she's so arrogant that she does not watch my videos, and I'm so sure about it, because if she does watch my video, I'm definitely getting a message from her on the world chat or on the mail. So let's hope that she does it. Now I'll tell you the history of this woman. She is around 60 years old, 55 or 60 years old, I don't remember that. And whenever her screen turns red, she gets a heart attack. Not the one that kills her, but oh my god, my screen is red, my screen is red, oh my god. That's how she reacts. And I remember that very well, because I used to play with her on the voice. And this is what she used to do. She basically had an alt account which she bought and named it as Summer, and she would take both the accounts in the battlefield. There's a friend of mine named Urta Punjab, whose account at that time was Baby Boo for some reason, and I used to use his account too. So when I asked that I want to bring him in battlefield, she said no, I cannot bring somebody else's account if that person is not playing. But however, she was bringing her second account in the battlefield every time. And this is when we realized was I ported and captured one of the buildings to which she was sending a march, and she started shouting on the call. And then when we saw, it wasn't her main account, it was a march coming from Summer. Now this happened so quickly that I captured the building, and she started abusing me. And I'm like, wait, that guy who was marching, by the time his march reached, he didn't even have the time to message it to her, and then she would shout at me. She started abusing me directly by using the F word, which I don't want to do it, because I don't want my YouTube to get spoiled. Now I was still naive to understand at that moment. I and one of my friends, Toxic, who is also an Indian, we had a call about this, we discussed about this, and then we came to this conclusion that, oh my god, this lady has been doing this shady work, having this account for a very long time. We didn't had any proof on that, but it was easy to understand because of a lot of things. There's one more thing which happened, is quite interesting, which happened in the Alliance KOD. So we were setting up a trap, all the big keeps were reinforcing me, and she being the R4, she realized that if I have a defensive on, I'll make points for myself, and my generals will level up. But she actually didn't understand how the point system worked, that everybody who's reinforcing, whoever kills the troops, will also be making points. She didn't understand this logic of the reinforcement process. So she basically started trashing with me, and she started whispering other big players to recall their reinforcements from my keep, saying that he is very selfish and this and that. Now I was looking at the outside keep picture, or the outside keep screen, which is something like this, and I could see that reinforcements are leaving my keep. So this is what I did at that moment. I instantly reinforced other players around me. I waited for the hit to come. I knew it, the hit is going to come. I so knew it, the attack is going to come. And it was SVS. So a guy ported. That guy didn't even scout. He gave a blind hit of ranged troops, and people reinforcing me were with ground and range. So it was sure that we were going to win the defense. But the reinforcements was pulled. My troops were outside. When the attack was about to land, I bubbled up. And then I said, I knew you guys had left the reinforcement. But I didn't know it was Siska who had told them to pull out. On checking with other players on Whisper and Call, these guys were not willing to tell me who was it. But it was understood that it was she, because she was the one who was not responding to me at all, but she was chatting in the alliance chat. This is when I decided that there is no point being in an alliance where the R4s are jealous of my growth, because the role of an R4 is to push the alliance to grow, to push the members to get better. So my dear friends, if you are in such an alliance and if you are in such a scenario where the R4s are jealous of you, quit that leadership. Quit that alliance. You are not going to grow. You are just wasting your time, just wasting your chances of growing. I've already taken 20 minutes of your time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you ever feel something like this, reach out to me in the mail. There are a lot of players that frequently send me mail from different server, and I do reply to them. I do chat with them. I do discuss with them. So please feel free to send me your mail, send me your queries, and just if you want to have a casual chat, you can add me as friends and we can have a casual chat. I do paid sessions. I only charge fees for the time that I'm giving. It is not for the knowledge that I'm sharing. The knowledge is for free. But when I'm sitting and doing a Zoom session with you, I'm missing rallies, which is I'm missing my growth. So for that, I charge a fee for an hourly basis. But well, everything. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, please send me a mail. What else would you like to see coming up on my channel? With this, I conclude the video. Max from server 133 signing out. I will see you next time.